Hi everyone, all the footage from today's video was shot in mid-November last year and this is the Lake District. It's not me, it's one of my viewers. And what we're going to do with the footage is just give people a few reminders about how to drive in conditions like this. These type of conditions do seem to be getting more common, and my first piece of advice would be to not go out if you don't have to, but sometimes you're going to go out and then get caught in these conditions, so you need to know what to do. Let's see what my viewer does with this deeper section. Nice job. They seem to pick the way through the shallowest part they could, and this is always a good idea. That's generally going to be the middle of the road, but it's not always the case. Here, the volume of the water and its speed wasn't too bad, but if you're ever in doubt, don't bother. And that's going to apply to a lot of these situations. This is also going to happen quite regularly in these conditions. The four-wheel drive was fine going through the deeper section, but again, the middle of the road, due to the crown camber, I'll explain in a minute, is the shallowest part. So remember, you may have to hold back and give way. Treat it like a meeting situation. I think both of those vehicles coming through that deeper section were a little fast. If the splashes you are creating are going to go over someone's window, it's not good. It can affect vision, even if your wipers are on full. You do need to keep a little momentum, but they were a little fast through that depth. Now going back to what I'm saying about the middle of the road is generally the shallowest. If you have a look at the overlay, this is what we mean by crown camber, and as you can see, the middle of the road is higher than the edges, obviously making the puddles shallowest in the middle also. This isn't always going to be the case on every single section, so make sure you drive to the conditions. The amount of leaves that we've seen in this clip already laying on the road can cause issues with drainage, but this is generally on residential areas, less so in country roads like this. Try and also anticipate where flooding might happen. We've got a big slope to my viewer's right hand side, so all the water is going to be coming off that slope, obviously, onto the road. Look for low points as well, because that's where the water is going to collect also. Now let's get on to the important parts. How deep is this puddle? If you're not sure, don't go through. Again, my viewer keeps to the lowest part, which this time was on the right hand side. But do not gamble. If you're not certain, maybe even stop and check the depth before you proceed. If your airbox on your car is low, water may get in there and it forces air into the engine. Water cannot be compressed, unlike the fuel and air mixture which normally goes in, and it can cause catastrophic engine damage if that's the case. But even worse things can happen. An elderly couple lost their lives in a flood in Liverpool not too long ago. Again, my viewer does a good job and picks the shallowest part. But it was maybe a little fast. Tyres can only displace a set amount of water, and if you're slower, it helps them cope. This is one of the factors that might make you aquaplane. Now on to a really deep puddle. If we look up in the distance, there's already a vehicle that has tried to go through and broken down. And by the looks of it, my viewer nearly gets caught out also. I think I would have held back and let this oncoming vehicle try it first.
Oh, have you died? Have you? Oh, we're dying, David.
Again, I think my viewer was a little fast coming into that.
Do you want to go home? Hey. Huh?
By the looks of it, the car spluttered a little bit, but luckily enough, it kept running. My viewer decides to turn round and not continue with the journey, and by the time they get back to the Corsa, there's a police vehicle here. It also looks as though the police officer has collected a few number plate souvenirs.
Oh,
Okay, you
I
okay?
hate British weather.
So
Right.
do we.
It's a bit deeper than it looks. You should be all right getting through.
Yeah.
Just take it
We've
steady.
just come back this way, but we're not going to take any chances down there. So we've turned
Is
around.
there a vehicle abandoned further
No.
on?
We've only been around the corner and we turned around.
Right, no bother.
Right.
Right, I'll go away.
Thanks.
To drive through deeper water, you should keep the car speed slow but the engine speed high. Choose a low gear and slip the clutch if you need to. That means dipping it down around the bike, similar to how you move off. This allows the engine revs to keep high but your speed to be a little slower. Another important point is to try and continue moving. If you do stop, water can enter into the exhaust and it can also cause problems. Watch the black vehicle in front. They do a pretty good job. They start off slowly and increase their speed a little to create a bow wave in front.
Okay, ready?
Just go for it.
But don't rush because it can cause problems. And notice this attempt compared to the last and look at the different results out the other side. Keep safe everyone. I'll see you soon.
Risk.
Good boy.
Good
I don't want
boy.
us to risk.